All right, time for that Road to 1K special that I promised you guys a few days ago. We finally hit it, and it is all because of you guys. So, thank you very much, and let me get to fulfilling my promise. Oh, by the way, we're going to film this one on this mic on my setup as opposed to using my phone as per usual in my reviews. So, let's get right into it. Alright then, so welcome to the Road to 1K special. This video right here was where I said you can leave your questions down below. I will go ahead and review these, on video. I will be answering any questions that you guys might have and, take any suggestions, that kind of thing. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the comment section. By the way, not a lot of you left any comments, so I'm going to go ahead and do some additional. Saturite asks, what headphone would I be the most excited to hear? Actually, quite a few. I got quite a few on the list. So thankfully, one of those was the Hi-Fi Aria. And I actually have that one in for review, as well as the Ananda, the Sundara, the 2020 revision, and the new Divas. So I got those in for review as well. I think those are going to be... I think you'll have to wait for the reviews. I think they're going to shock you. The results will shock you a bit. But I've been listening to them. I've been burning them in. In fact, I'm actually using the Sundaras right now if I need to listen to anything, I'm wearing them right now. Another thing I'd be interested in listening to would be the Focal, Elegia, Distelia, and, above all, the Utopias. I have heard those were really, really interesting, and although I am interested for listening to their sound quality, one thing that kind of bugs me about the Focal lineup in general is the fact that they don't really have a very comfortable feel to them. I mentioned it before in the Focal Clear and the Focal Elex videos. They're just really uncomfortable to me. I can't stand them for more than 30 to 45 minutes before I have to take them off, just because of, yes, they're heavy, but at the same time, it's like they're not clampy, but the weight really pushes on the clamp force. It's not the headphone themselves. It really does feel like their weight just kind of like, well, it can't go down anymore, so it goes to the sides inward to squish your head. And I really don't like that. But yeah, interested to get those in and try those out. Also, the Odyssey line, I would like to at a time get, let's say, the LCD ones, the LCD 2Cs again, the two, whether phasered or non-phasered, the LCD 3s, and, well, I wouldn't really be optimistic about getting the LCD 4s because, well, I don't have that kind of money. But, hey, you never know. I would like that. Also, I have listened to the Sennheiser HD800s, the 800S, and the HD820s. I haven't listened to the 820s enough to say, well, I do like them, I don't like them, this is their, what they're good at, what they lack in, but that's also something that I want to actually get and bring in so I can listen to for myself, not just like for minutes at a time, but to actually have here and use and provide an accurate and, extensive review on, as well as compare them to the HD800s that I'm currently in possession of, and the 800S, which I don't have, but I'm also planning on getting. Also, as you can see right here, I'm also interested in getting the other stacks, the L500s and L700s, in for review as well. I'm not really interested in the 007s or the 009s, just because, I don't know, they just don't catch my eye like the L series does, but it'd be interesting to try those out. Now, Don Vittorio Sierra asks, what's your signal chain for my HD600s? I've always had a love-hate relationship with the HD600s and found a happy compromise with the 6XX due to the less annoying upper mids to the ears. 600s were more dynamic, though, and you did like their bass being less bloomy. Currently, my signal chain is local files in Windows, or it could be Spotify, whatever, but mostly local files for high quality, high resolution listening. Going into my SMSL SU8 balanced stack via USB, headed to the Massdrop THX AAA 789 amplifier into balanced, as well as RCAs, depending of the occasion. I switch back and forth. And the reason I also feed RCAs is because from the 789, I then output via RCA into the Stax Energizer, the SRM 252S. And then from there, I output RCA to the shit sys switch. And then from there, I have one in and two outs. One of the outs goes via RCA into the JBL LSR30X powered monitors, while the other side is just empty. So the reason I leave it like that is because I can toggle one setting to use the speakers and then just toggle the other setting, like, from 1 to 2 or 2 to 1, to just quote unquote turn it off without having to actually reach behind the speakers and manually turning them off. I found that method is pretty effective. And then also the volume attenuator at the front of the sys is very helpful for controlling the volume of the JBL LSR30Xs. So anyways, that's my chain. And as far as the HD600s go, I listen to them single-ended off of the RCAs just because I've had a balance cable before here and I didn't like the way they sound on the HD 600s balanced. I don't like how the HD600s balanced sound on the balance cable. I don't know why. It's just, I already explained in the 4 months later review. So if you want, you can go ahead and head there and check that out. But anyways, I use the HD600s off of the stock single-ended cable that they came with. So the upper mids were initially a bit annoying for me as well, just because I wasn't used to such a forward upper mid section. But I very quickly got used to that. And now it's like, I don't know. It's good. It's good. I find myself not annoyed by the upper mids at all anymore. And in some cases, I actually find that to be a bit of a strength as opposed to a weakness. Yeah, you're definitely right about that dynamic part. When I listened to the HD600s, and originally I had the 6XX, by the way, I knew I was paying, an additional $100 for practically no improvements. Yes, there are some improvements, but it's like a tiny little variation of the same thing. I didn't care. Those 600s were like liquid gold to me, and the 650s were just a little too lush, a little too relaxed, and yeah, you're right. Bloomy. Definitely way too bloomy. Michael Gia asks, is it the same banana box every time, or are there new boxes that look the same? Keep up the good content. Hey, thanks a lot. It is the same banana box every time. And to answer your question about the banana box, I'm sure you were kind of indicating why do you use a banana box? Well, throughout the time that I had started my channel, I was moving houses. So we had a bunch of go ask for some boxes at this retail store, this HEB, this Walmart or whatever. Go ask for some boxes so that we can use them to move. And I was like, oh, okay. So I had a bunch of banana boxes from when they used them in the morning. And one of those was in great condition. It wasn't stained. It looked pretty decent. And I think at the time, I didn't really have anything to display it on because I didn't have a nice table. I didn't have an area because, well, the old place was much smaller and I didn't have anything. So then I looked around and then I, literally turn your head 90 degrees and then, well, there it is. There it is. If you want to use it, it's right there. Go ahead and use it. So I did. And ever since then, I just kind of held on to it. I said, well, yeah, I'm just going to keep using this. So I put the box away whenever I don't need it. And then I just pull it out. Giggity. Now, Pelpan asks, just how fast are stacks and how would you describe the sound versus a fairly fast conventional driver solution like a planar? That's very, very simple. Generally speaking, the sound of a planar and the sound of stacks, or, I've only listened to really 2 ear speakers in my life. The L300s, which I have had here for quite some time and owned, and the L700s, which were a part of Silent's repertoire at the time, and he let me use them at his setup. So I only got probably a couple minutes of those head time. Anyways, generally speaking, planars can have this kind of silvery treble sound to them, with a type of bass response that it's thick, but it's sharp, and it is very, very, very well detailed. Those things hit hard and hit deep. And like I said, the silvery treble is sure, it can be a bit forward, it cannot be a bit forward, and sometimes it can be a bit peaky, relatively speaking. You could have a dark treble response and then have that peak, and then have that peak not be sharper than the rest of the treble frequency of the headphone, but still on the more, neutral to darker side of things. But it can definitely occur, and I've heard that with the majority of planars out there. That kind of silvery treble is what you would expect from a planar. On the flip side, with stacks or ear speakers, it's much different. Even though the treble is sharper. It sounds more natural to me. And like I'm not trying to, you know, rain on Planar's parade or anything, but it really does sound more natural to my ears than a planar magnetic driver. Also, the bass on electrostatic ear speakers, it can be impactful, it can be kind of lacking, but regardless of the case, I found that it's generally woolly. Like it does not have a lot of detail to it. It could have nice impact, yes it can. For example, the L300s. Those had a pretty nice impact, even if they didn't extend very deep. But it's a woolly response. It does not have a whole lot of detail to it. So pros and cons to each. But stacks are fast. Stacks are very, very fast. Those things are like detail kings for sure. Definitely. However, when you weigh that against, you know, their cons, which would be they can be too thin of a sound, they can be a tad too aggressive in the treble department, and they could be lacking in the bass response. When you weigh all those options, sometimes that extra edge over in the detail just might not outweigh the cons. You know, it varies person by person, but in my particular case, I think they're interesting, but I don't think they're a keeper for me. So I'm just going to leave it as that. I still haven't really made my choice yet as far as whether I'm going to keep the L300s or not, but there are a couple more reviews on the way that involve the L300s, and definitely by the end of that, I will let you know whether I kept them or not. Blue says, we have bananas today. Yes, Blue, yes we do. In fact, I have one right in front of me right now, and it is... it's a beautiful banana. It is. Well, that's a beautiful banana. Absolutely beautiful. Last of all, Cindy says, liked it. Cool. You know what? Let me give you that heart. Thank you very much. And you know what else? I'll give each and every one of you a heart as well. Thank you very much for going ahead and giving that a like, because to the 54 people that watch this, thank you very much. But no, seriously, thank you all so much for getting me to 101K. Now, before we leave though, I figured this was a little too short as far as the Q&A is concerned, but I'm going to go ahead and just mention a couple other things. So, my current lineup consists of my Sennheiser HD600s, which I keep as a neutrality benchmark. Those things are about as neutral as you can get with very little cons, and I absolutely applaud them for it. They are absolutely amazing. One of my favorite headphones of all time, period. Next, we have the HD800s. Now, those are the detail kings. Those have a slightly more treble-ish sound. Yes, they do. But with EQ, they can be controlled to be great and still be plenty detailed and still have plenty of natural character, like the headphone's stock character. And as far as the bass is concerned, I know it's not like bass heavy, but that is some deep bass that it reaches. And with a little bit of EQ, that little extra boost in the 30 hertz range by 2 decibels, give or take, those things can definitely satisfy some bass people. Not bass heads, just bass lovers. Now, I also have the Focal Elex as part of my repertoire. And the thing with those is, it's really a love-hate relationship. I love their detail. I love the fact that they can be very detailed and present things beautifully without having to be treble heavy or very sibilant. Their low end can be a bit on the thick side to me, but never muddy, just slightly too thick, just slightly. Good news about that is you can very easily apply an EQ and turn those down a bit by like literally 1, maybe 2 decibels. Very, very, very tiny little adjustments. One at 83 and one at 180 hertz. And that's it. You do that, that's it. The tiny little like extra bump, gone. Just gone. They're perfect. And I can run them with or without it. That's the most beautiful thing about it, is that even though they have that tiny flaw, it really is just a tiny flaw. And it can be easily fixed or not. It's up to you. I also have the Audio-Technica M40Xs, and the reason I have those, even though I'm not a huge fan of their sound signature, look, I'm not a big fan of closed-back headphones, as you can imagine, but I keep those around mainly for monitoring purposes, just because I like to be able to monitor my voice whenever I'm doing some voiceovers or whenever I'm also editing videos, just to make sure there's no background noises hiding something from me. What else? Oh, last of all, my AKG K7XXs, and those are not really used for music anymore. Those are my first ever audiophile headphone, believe it or not. First ever, if you're not counting the iSign 10s, which aren't really headphones per se. But anyway, those things, they sound pretty good. Not awesome, and you can get better headphones for music at the $200 range nowadays, especially with the 6XX being a thing. But the K7XX are easily the most comfortable pair of headphones I have ever worn, and I use those things for like movies, video games, watching YouTube, the kind of stuff where you just kind of want to like let those things, rest on your head, lean back with a, I don't know, soda or a little nice little beverage, and just enjoy the content, not worry about having the headphones on your head. Absolutely amazing. I think that's going to do it for me before this ends up being like some 30-minute, sit-down explanation. Once again, thank you so much for getting me to 1K. I mean, without you guys, this right here would not have been possible, and I absolutely love each and every one of you for getting me there. Now, let's try to get to 2K. No, I'm just kidding. But, no, actually, I'm not kidding. So, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope some of these questions were answered. And in the comment section of this video, go ahead and leave any other question that you might have that you maybe missed your chance on leaving the first time around. I'll go ahead and answer that one in the comment section as opposed to an actual video. But, you know what, one more time, just to thank you. Saturite, Don Vittorio Sierra, Michael Gia, Pelpan, Blue, and Cinny. Thank you very much for leaving your comment, and I love each and every one of you. So, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.